Listen to this from Bryan Cranston. So well said.
Make America Great Again. My comment is, do you accept that that could possibly be construed as a racist remark? And most people, a lot of people go, how could that be racist? Make America great again? I said, so just ask yourself from an African-American experience, when was it ever great in America for the African-American? When was it great? So if you're making it great again, it's not including them. So it's to teach us in the woke world to open up and accept the possibilities that our privilege has created blind spots for us. And maybe I haven't seen what is really happening yet in all my years.
What an idiot. It's racist. Get out of here. But hi. How's everybody doing? Welcome to another episode of A Couple of Hoosiers podcast. I'm your host, Ricky Kurtz.
I'm your co-host, Charlie Goldsmith.
And we got some stuff to talk about. But oh boy, I just hate that whole Make America Great Again is racist, because when was it ever great for black people?
Let's say starting about 100 years ago, it's just been fantastic for them. It's not hard for them to get welfare. It's not hard for them to get any kind of assistance from the government. Like, speaking from experience, because me as a single parent had to jump through hoops just to even get food stamps for a little bit when I was in dire times.
You should have just been trapping squirrels and feeding them to your children.
You're right. I should have. Squirrels are good protein. Nice and lean.
Better than the bugs.
Yeah, I won't eat bugs.
No, but I mean,
when they say make America great again, it has nothing to do with like racism or anything. It has to do with our economy, jobs being enlisted more, our unemployment rate going down, several other things other than just the fact of, oh, we're trying to put the black man down again.
True.
Has nothing to do with that. And that's been over for 400 years. And I'm honestly, seriously getting sick and tired of hearing about this shit, dude.
Sick of it. Absolutely sick of it. But you know what? That video is relevant because we're going to be covering two women today who are from our state here in Indiana, and they're progressives, but they hate the MAGA Republicans, and they have some not so nice things to say about us. So we're going to be covering that. This is going to be a new segment that we're going to be doing every Wednesday around 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You know, if you're not, in this wonderful area where we're at and you have a weird time zone, just so you know.
I think wonderful is a stretch of a world.
It could be worse. It could be worse.
I'll give you that.
Yeah. But let's before we get into everything and hear these annoying people complain about how evil we are, let's run that ad. That way, possible new viewers know where to find us, all that. But first, I have to find my ad button. There it is. Let's go. Couple of Hoosiers podcast. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, CastBox, pretty much anywhere that you get your podcasts. We do a live stream show on Rumble. Be sure to follow us there because you never know when we're going to go live. And, they notify you, so that's good. But if you want to get everything all in one place, go to cohpodcast.substack.com. I write blogs for all the episodes. Go there, subscribe. It's completely free. Check it out. Also, down in the description area, we want to start like a Discord, and possibly have like people jump in on the stream and like talk with us and stuff like that. So if you're interested in that, join the Discord. We're trying to build a community, have some like-minded individuals, conversate with us on the internet. That way, it's fun. I promise.
Even if you're not like-minded, keep it cordial.
True. I mean, yeah, even if you like hate every single thing that I say, come in, talk to me. I'll talk to you.
At great lengths.
I might call you retarded, but don't be a little baby about it. It's okay. But yeah, so who's your Victory Alliance? I talked about them a little bit in the last episode. There's some progressive Democrats here in Indiana, and they have this plan how they want to turn the state blue. Good luck.
I'll move.
But it doesn't stop there. It doesn't stop there. They have they're working with this organization known as Act Blue, and they have this like smaller organization within them that is every state blue. We'll be getting into it, but yeah, they want every state to be Democrat ran, and you know they want everything their way, and they claim that they love democracy so much, and they hate us because we're authoritarians and totalitarians and what other Aryan that you want to talk about.
Don't say Aryan.
Don't say Aryan.
It's a bad time to say Aryan.
Bad time. Yeah. Let's just watch some stuff. Let's watch some stuff because I got some stuff that I want to talk about. So, you know, everybody, I had already talked about, like, you know, the whole Anheuser-Busch little problem that they had with their marketing plans, and it kind of blew up in their face. But I saw this, and I thought that this was absolutely hilarious. 1 second. Right here. The old Budweiser commercial where it was like Budweiser instead it's transgender, and you got this.
I don't like them putting chemicals in the water that turn the friggin' frogs gay.
Look how angry he looks.
I couldn't resist. I saw it. I mean, and that was honestly one of my favorite commercials for Budweiser when they had.
I like how one of the frogs has a crown on
it. Yeah.
That was one of my favorite too.
Budweiser. They just don't make commercials like they used to. It's sad because now everything has to be like, you know, interracial and gay.
Well, it sounds actually. I've been reading that it sounds like the LGB of the whole alphabet people are separating from the rest of them because they think that they're stupid too.
I think they're all stupid, but what are you gonna do? But like speaking of that, I saw this video, and I mean I don't wanna stay on it too long, but James O'Keefe, formerly with Project Veritas, you know, that company did some dumb stuff and got rid of him because he was speaking some truth that they didn't like. But he recently ran into Dylan Mulvaney, and it's pretty funny. So we're gonna watch it.
I'm James O'Keefe with OMG News outside the Four Seasons Hotel in Beverly Hills. Dylan Mulvaney is inside the women's restroom right now, so I'm going to ask him for comment about our story regarding women being raped in prison by men claiming to be transgender. Here we go. Ooh. Dylan, this is James O'Keefe, OMG. Women are being raped in a prison in Washington State by men claiming to be transgender. There's footage of them talking about the rape. Do you have a comment on the story here of the women being raped by the men claiming to be transgender? James O'Keefe, OMG,
ignoring him.
What do you think about the women who are being raped by the men who are transgender? Do you have a comment about that?
Please don't come in the elevator.
Oh, okay.
What do you think about? What is your comment to the women who are being raped by men claiming to be transgender, Dylan? So we're here with Dylan here. Haven't had much Bud Light recently, but we're very interested in the women's prison. Dylan? Okay. She did go into she went into the women's restroom.
What the hell are you doing? This is a women's bathroom.
Trying to show them the footage. No comment here at the Four Seasons Hotel in Beverly Hills. All right. I wonder where she's going. He's going. Do you guys have any like O'Keefe beer? O'Keefe beer? You have any? No O'Keefe beer? Do you guys have O'Keefe beer? You don't carry O'Keefe beer? You know when you'll get a shipment in?
Absolutely hilarious. I love it. Hold up.
I like how he just kept avoiding the
No
guy.
O'Keefe beer?
Okay, good. Sound
Didn't
was
even
going
speak
through.
to him. Was hauling ass through that place.
Like, I gotta go.
Yeah.
Where's the exit? How do I get out of here? He honestly reminds me of I can't remember that Dateline guy that used to track down the pedophiles and like, why don't you come have a seat? Why don't you come have a seat?
The look on their face every time that dude would come out.
Yeah, I can't remember his name, but yeah, that guy has done like some really impressive work. I don't know what went down with the whole Project Veritas thing. I thought like it was like his company, but apparently they were able to boot him out because something with the vaccine thing going on, and he was exposing way too much, and they were like, you're a bit of a liability for our ESG score. We can't allow that. But one more video that I wanna kind of talk about before we get into the main topic is I absolutely love the show The View. I think I think they're an impressive group of women, and feminism has just done wonders for them. They're so intelligent, and I take everything that they say. I can't keep it up. They're retarded. But
You tried. You tried.
I tried. I try to be nice to people. I'm a good guy like that. It doesn't always work, but at least I try. I put in that college effort.
A for effort, man. A for effort.
But there's been a lot of talk on like what the Supreme Court is allowed to do, and mainly this all stems back to Roe v. Wade, and they're just absolutely sick and tired that we overturned it, and they're just seething. And so they went and said this, and it just shows that they don't know what the hell they're talking about.
The problem is, how do you police the Supreme Court?
Well, Congress absolutely can and should police the Supreme Court. Residual power for our government is in Congress, not in the executive branch, not with the president, and not with the Supreme Court. And that's because we're the closest to the people. People elect and unelect us every 2 years. And so Congress can pass a judicial code of ethics for the Supreme Court. And when we do, by the way, we need to learn from our own mistakes with our congressional codes of ethics, in which we have seen this exact same play, which is oops, I'll tell you about it later. And people get off the hook for it. And what it does is it erodes trust in government. It makes people think that Congress is corrupt, that court is corrupt, that they can't trust their federal officials. And I don't care what your political views are. A lack of trust in government is a terrible thing to witness in a democracy. And we all need to be part of pushing for more accountability.
I remember.
So why don't you do things that like, you know, make us trust you a little bit more? But
Like, stop digging into this transgender shit and putting women or men in women's prisons that claim to be transgender so they can stop being raped. That would be a good start.
that would be wonderful. That would be great.
Or how about, you know, they veto the fact that they're trying to do surgeries. And dude, I was watching a video today. There was a guy that did surgery, had his son turned into a daughter at 2 years old. 2 years old. And Elon Musk said this, and I agree with him, that anybody that does anything like that to children before the age of 18, before the age of consent, should be imprisoned for life.
I would go a little bit further. Burn them at the stake. But before we go in Fed post or anything like that, let me go ahead and explain my problem with that, because they were talking about how like Congress should, you know, police the Supreme Court and, you know, make sure that they're going off a congressional code of ethics, because, you know, that can't be faulty at all. And illogical, but
You mean the same people that technically threw a bunch of people in prison with no actual charges for
those guys.
Better part of 2 years? Yeah, let's put them in control more.
Yeah, more power. But speaking of power, from the NCSL, National Conference of State Legislators, separation of powers. We got the three branches, and they're supposed to be separated. There are checks and balances, but we don't give one more control than the other. But the term trias politica, or whatever Latin word that is, or separations of powers, was coined by Charles Louis de Secondot. He was actually the first person to be like, I'll second that. Baron de la Brede, whatever this French guy is, an 18th century French social and political philosopher. His publication, Spirit of the Laws, is considered one of the great works of the history of political theory and jurisprudence. Sure. And it inspired the Declaration of Rights of Man and the Constitution of the United States. Under this model, the political authority of the state is divided into legislative, executive, and judicial powers. He asserted that to most effectively promote liberty, these three powers must be separate and act independently. Separation of powers, therefore, refers to the division of government responsibilities to district branches to limit any one branch from exercising the core functions of another. The intent is to prevent the concentration of power and provide for checks and balances. Come on, ladies on The View. Why don't you guys, read a little bit more? Might help. Might help.
Maybe a little.
But let's get into some more ladies who probably don't read that often. Over here. So, who are we talking about? We're talking about Hoosier Victory Alliance. Actually, I think I have their website. I do not. But I do have this. Let's go to this real quick. So this is the Every State Blue. Have you checked
Gerrymander.
Yeah, what the gerrymandering. That's the name of their podcast, and we're going to give it a little listen because they said just some wonderful things. But this program right here, Every State Blue, kind of sounds a little bit like totalitarianism, where they just want all their power to be, yeah. But the stakes are high. Democrats aren't fighting everywhere. For too long, Democratic races at the state and federal level all over the country have gone unchallenged or unsupported. We're changing that with projects in 3 states, Missouri, Ohio, Texas, and they actually just added Indiana, but they haven't updated their website. Go figure. Every State Blue is committed to creating grassroots communities of people like you who want Democrats to fight everywhere. The strategy, show up. When we don't run and support Democrats, the people living in those districts feel abandoned, ignored, forgotten. Meanwhile, GOP nominees get free passes. Every State Blue knows there's a better way. Working together, we can show up. Make sure no Democrat is left behind. No voter is left without a choice, and no Republican gets a free ride. But it's all dumb. It's all dumb. It really is. If
they were to accomplish that, that would be horrific.
I find it laughable because these are the same people that are constantly talking about how much they love democracy and how everything that the right is doing is attacking democracy and it's a threat to democracy. And then they're like, hey, we need every state to be Democratic ran because Republicans are racist and we don't like them because they're mean. So
they called me by a wrong pronoun.
The worst of offenses.
Yeah, in some states you can actually be put in jail for that. Isn't that horrible?
Oh, absolutely. Well, like I was saying, that there was a high school kid. Wrong button. My apologies.
Ricky has to pee.
Not yet. But no, there was a high school kid up in Canada just recently, and he was suspended from school for not bowing down to the whole pronouns and all that crap. Hey, stop it.
Yeah, there was actually a kid. I don't really get into Pokemon or nothing, but my boys do. And there was a kid kicked out of Pokemon because he laughed when when they asked him about his pronouns or something like that.
It's probably for the best. Pokemon's a little gay, but
A little bit.
just a little bit. But yeah, let's go ahead and look at their website. I showed a little bit of it on Saturday's episode. Go back, watch it, smash the like button on that, and be sure to share it. Share the podcast. It's great for you. But HoosierVictoryAlliance.org. Providing a new playbook for pro-democracy. They still didn't get my email about how they missed the L. I was trying to help them out. Seriously, guys. Seriously. So, pro-democracy candidates and activists to build power in Indiana. The MAGA supermajority in Indiana has passed cruel policies that deprives Hoosiers of fundamental freedoms. Hoosier Victory Alliance has built a new playbook to change the electoral landscape in Indiana to support candidates for state and local office. So this is kind of a little bit like what they have. Like I said, they just added blue Indiana for every state blue and all that.
So wouldn't what they're doing be considered gerrymandering?
No.
Trying to sway people for the electoral. I was just looking at the
Yeah, I can't think of the definition offhand. I think it's a bit of a retarded word, but
in representative democracies, gerrymandering is the political manipulation of electoral district boundaries with the intent to create undue advantage for a party.
yeah. So technically, what that is each county and all that stuff is like we have our theoretical borders or whatnot for each county, and they were going really hard on this here in Indiana. They were going after it because we were updating our borders and whatever, and that changes districts and how many representatives are there and just all that stuff. So I mean, they were that's their
just
claim.
The fact that they want to turn everything blue would be gerrymandering because that's swaying the party and the votes for the electoral candidates in the democratic way.
You could say that. You could say that. I like it. I'll accept it. But I just don't like the word because they try to say that the reason why they're changing the borders of counties and cities and all that stuff is because of racism. Because they say we don't want black people to vote. Honestly, I don't want anybody to vote. I think it's kind of dumb, but we won't get into that. But let's go back to these guys.
My opinion on the whole racism thing, man, is if racism was as bad as they say it was, there would be a lot less mixed couples. There would be a lot less interracial relationships.
A lot less white people at a Black Lives Matter
that
rally.
Too. Yeah, but see, I don't really
CVS.
count Black Lives Matter because that thing is a whole white person thing anyways. And if black people, actually, there's a lot of black people that have opened their eyes to that shit and realized all they're doing is filling a white man's pockets. None of that money has gone to any kind of college funds for black people. None of that has ever gone for any kind of help for black people. Poverty is still an issue for them, and it's not helped them at all.
It's gone to a lot of porn sites. I mean, so that's
yeah,
gross. But let's keep on going at these guys. So yeah, pretty much what they're trying to do, which I mean, it's not illegal, but it's pretty much they're generating like all this crowdfunding stuff, and they've been really good at it. I think I have. Do I have Act Blue?
Gerrymandering. Oh shit. Oh god. Oh.
Ooh, check those allergies out.
I'm telling you, man. It's the season for them.
Act Blue. Look how much. This is how much money they've raised since 2004. Almost $12 billion.
Great. Let's put that towards the deficit.
But pretty much what it is is essentially they have these people sending like all these little donations every month, and then they build it up, and then they start using that money to help fund campaigns for Democrats and stuff like that. And like that's why most of the time you will see commercials for Democrats. I know where I'm at. What's the dummy's name here?
Wow.
Been,
and it's still going.
yeah, I have my own theories that this is a fake number generator, because that's a lot of money coming in that quickly. I mean,
I wouldn't be surprised if it's real.
I don't know.
There's a lot of people out there with a lot of money that they don't know what to do with, so they're like, "Yay, let's do this."
George Soros. But yeah, so
to name only one.
He's a big donor. But I mean, it's totally not a conspiracy at all, and he's doing it because he actually believes in democracy, and he thinks that the Democrats are the one to do it, and he doesn't put any attorney generals in states to lock up conservatives for waving a flag around in the state capitol and saying yeah. Totally want to do that. But yeah, so they set up all this crowdfunding stuff, and they're really good at it. I've talked about this before, how the Democrat and the left is like really good at like crowdfunding and like getting into like this political arena and going out and talking to people and raising money for their candidates. And the right and Republicans, they suck at it.
One of my biggest things that bothers me about that is that Democrats, most commercials I've seen for Democrats, or even like little feeds that I've seen of Democrats, they're always trash talking. Always trash talking. Like Republicans,
I don't mind it.
Target issues. Republicans
they
target
trash
issues. I mean, they do trash talk a little bit, but it's not nearly as much as Democrats, and you won't convince me of that. They lash out a little bit, but like comparatively, Republicans more talk about the issues and the things they want to do about them.
True.
Democrats are just like, fuck Republicans, they're racist, transgender rights, blah, 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 blah.
That's what they have to lean on, because all their policies suck.
Or shit, yeah.
They suck. So I mean, if they can't prove to their constituents that we're a bunch of evil, white, racist, Christian, authoritarians, whatever word they want to use to make us sound as evil as possible, that's what they're going to do, because they got nothing else to lean on.
Yep.
But
so all they got left is to trash talk the other side, try to make you think that they're worse than they are.
Yeah. But back to the topic at hand. So they have Act Blue, and like I said, Republicans and the right have sucked at doing this and getting on the internet sphere and crowdfunding and all that stuff. But we're making some advances. We got Win Red over here, and pretty much how this works is, you can click on Indiana and you can scroll down. We don't have any Indiana candidates running for president, I don't think. I don't even know. Ew, Nikki Haley. Don't vote for her. If you vote for her, I have zero respect for you. Absolutely. Growing up as a brown-skinned girl, or whatever she said. Oh, my gosh. Ew, Todd Young. But, yeah, you can go on here and you can go to your state, or you can, you can even just look up it's not illegal to give politicians money. They enjoy it. They enjoy it. So of course they would not make any laws against that. But I mean, this is a good start, because I know there was a lot of people that talked about how when Trump was running, they were like, oh, he's got all this money. Why would I send him money? And it's yeah, I get that. I'm not sending him any money, because I don't like politicians. Not a big fan. But for campaigning for campaigning purposes, I mean, something like this is really good, because I know we were talking about a guy a few months ago that was running for Senate here, U.S. Senate here, Danny Niederberger. We were talking about him for a while, and his biggest problem was that he didn't have enough funding to fund his campaign. So I mean, I think that also there was a bit of confusion going on in Indianapolis, very blue area, but No conspiracies there, but totally legit. Safe and effective, whatever words you want to use. But yeah, I think that is a step in the right direction. If you want to check it out, go to winred.com and
Just did.
It's pretty interesting. I mean, I'm not sending politicians money, but if you're into that, go for it. I won't hold it against you, but because I know there's a lot of people that are funding. I think I saw because Act Blue has been going since 2004, and like I said, they've raised like $12 billion since then, and then I think this just started Win Red, either last year or a couple of years ago, possibly. Don't quote me on that. I don't know, but they've only, you bastard, but they've only rose like a few $1 million from it because obviously they haven't been going as long. But yeah, I think that's a step in the right direction, and they're starting to understand what they need to do to compete against these people and get the crowdfunding going. People got to actually get out there and do something. You posting a meme on Facebook it's not doing anything. I mean, somebody might see it and be like, "Oh, how dare they?" But I mean, you're not actually doing anything. So, do something. Well, let's start talking about these people.
I just want to see what our deficit is right now. $2.8 trillion.
Why? You know what? That's it. You just went and ruined my day. I didn't want to think about that number.
Just irritates me. All this money they're raising for stupid bullshit and campaigning and everything else, we could do better shit with that money.
Well, I mean, the reason why I do think it's important is because, getting ads out and because like I was saying with like Danny Niederberger, like there was a lot of people who just didn't know who he was, and that's why he had such a hard time. I mean, it was actually surprising that he was actually able to get on the ballot, because you got to get like 500 signatures in like every single county when you're going for U.S. Senate. So, I mean, campaigning is important when you're trying to like do the politics stuff, but let's go ahead and talk about I can't think of their names right now. Heidi Beitingberg. Here, she's got this tweet right here. Heidi Beidinger for Indiana House Seat 5. She made this tweet right here, the terrorist organization, aka NRA, is in Indy for their annual convention. The GOP invited him to the State House. This pic says all you need to know about Indiana's GOP. Wayne Lapierre is second from the left. Bit of a bold claim to call the NRA a terrorist organization.
And then just forget a word. Making yourself sound like an idiot when you're trying to be an asshole.
Right? I mean, you don't have to like the NRA. I'm not a big fan of the NRA. I like Gun Owners of America a lot better. I think they do a lot better fighting in the Second Amendment legal system, and and ensuring that we're able to keep the right to defend ourselves. But the NRA to me is kind of like name brand. Like, I mean, yeah, you can go out and get the nice looking Nike, and everybody's gonna know that like you support Chinese slavery and you buy the expensive stuff, but yeah, I just thought that it's just terrorist organization, terrorist. It just goes along this whole line where like they say that like guns are the reason that people are dying in this country, because it's just because we have the access to the guns is the reason why people are just going out and like going and doing school shootings and stuff like that. It has nothing to do with the fact that they are completely deranged and there is a mental health crisis in this.
You mean like being pumped full of a chemical they don't need? Or like blocking puberty until later in life, which just fucks their whole mind and body up? Sorry, there was that
putting chemicals in the water that turn the friggin' frogs gay.
Yeah, all those.
Say it again, Alex.
I don't like them putting chemicals in the water that turn the friggin' frogs gay.
Amen, man.
Me neither.
In San Francisco, it's all about, well, you know, gay bathhouses, and it's all about round-the-clock sex. It's all.
Okay, Mr.
You ever? I know you've probably done this before, but you ever piss somebody off so much they stutter? That's where I think Biden's at.
No,
I'm
a nice person, and I would never push.
Oh, don't fool these people. Don't try and trick these people.
Anyways, let's keep on going.
In the famous words of Eagle, you can't hide your lion eyes.
But yeah, the two people that do the show, let me see if I can get their names. That way I actually know what's going on, and I'm not just okay. There it is. So right here, like I said, their podcast is What the Gerrymander, How to Build Power and MAGA Captured America. But it's Heidi Beidinger. She has a PhD. And Stephanie Gerber Wilson, also with a PhD, because that's important. So yeah, these two wonderful ladies have a lot to say, especially about the NRA. Here's another tweet that I think it was Stephanie sent out. The other one was Heidi. This one is Stephanie. Yeah. So it's time to demand that Indiana stop hosting the NRA. Guns are killing your kid, my kid, and everyone's kid. See bulletproof backpacks. Like, if guns are that big of a problem and everybody's getting shot, wouldn't you advocate for bulletproof backpacks?
See, now I seen a mother that was like, she posted that on something. I think it was YouTube. And I think that's an ingenious thing. I mean, it's a sad day where we have to do that, but I think it's ingenious. I mean, you know, you tell your kid if somebody comes in the classroom with a gun, put your backpack on and double over. You know what I mean?
I mean, everything, like, it doesn't make sense to me. They're like, we're not going to do anything that's actually preventative to, you know, help stop this stuff. And we're going to criticize it and say that you're just glorifying the death of children.
I can tell you one thing that can stop it. Stop giving women testosterone, stop giving men estrogen, and give them the psychological help they need. That would probably be a good start.
Probably do wonders.
But and you wouldn't have psychopaths running around with guns that want to shoot up Christians for no reason.
Yeah, like, come on, leave us alone. I didn't do anything to you except make fun of you. It's not justified. But so yeah,
I'm not even a Christian, and I think it's bullshit.
I am glad for your support. I appreciate
You're welcome.
it. But yeah, so they've been doing all this. They're heavily against guns, and like the rhetoric that you always heard is that, well, we're not coming after all guns. We just want to get the big scary ones out of there.
That's where it starts.
Exactly, because Heidi went on to do another tweet that I responded to and was reluctant to get any response back because, you know, why would they? But here she goes. This shooting, I believe this was in reference with the recent Tennessee Christian shooting. And she was like, this shooting and all the other shootings make me sick. Are you ready to throw these MAGA GOPs out of office? Way to make it political. Good job. They are the ones who continually vote to keep guns on the street. Somebody had responded to her about how well gun control works in, like, you know, New York, LA, Chicago. And she was like, I can't speak to New York and LA, but 20% of Chicago's gun violence can be tracked directly to one gun store in Gary, Indiana. So the absurd gun laws in Indiana directly affect Chicago. Most people don't know this. Now I'll wait. And I said, so essentially, you are saying that the only way to stop gun violence is an all-out ban on guns and a mandatory buyback nationwide. Because unless you do that, criminals are just going to find another way to breaking the laws you put in place. Way to shift the blame.
Wrong. In my opinion, even if we did a gun buyback and all the people that legally have guns right now, criminals will still find a way to get illegal guns.
Oh, true. I'm just saying, like,
so you're basically taking the defense of all the U.S. citizens here away from them. Exactly. And these criminals are still going to get illegal guns shipped in, still going to use illegal guns to shoot up schools. And then they're going to be like, what do we do now? I thought we got all the guns off the streets. No, you did. But then they got shipped in from another country, but I mean, again, because there's other countries that support this.
Oh, definitely. But
they want us to kill each other.
Yeah, they do. But my point in that is, like, she was trying to shift the blame because, you know, if you look into, like, Illinois and Chicago's, like, gun laws, they're really, really strict. Like, it's really hard to get guns over there. That's why I would never move over there, because I like my guns. But so she's like, well, the only reason why Chicago has such a bad gun violence, like their gun crime rate is through the roof and people are dying every day there, is because of Indiana's weak gun laws. It's shifting the blame. Criminals are going to find a way to do this. Like, this is the point that they don't get. It's not the fact that people have access to guns. I have access to guns. I am not trying to go out and shoot people. Like, you guys are, like, completely just taking the easy way out.
Situation.
They're taking the easy way out, and they don't actually want to deal with the problem, and it pisses me off.
What they should have is more security on train stations, on boat deliveries, on all kinds of things. Because, man, they ship hundreds of thousands of guns through shipping containers.
But I mean,
on ships. There's just no way of stopping it, really. I mean, we can take it out of the hands of the legal people because they don't want to break the law. Mm-hmm. But you're never going to take all the guns off the streets. You're just never.
And I mean, all it really does, like all their laws that they do, all it's going to do is create more criminals because, like we've talked about gun control and all this stuff in plenty of episodes. Go back, watch them, smash the like button, share the podcast, do all that great stuff. But all it's going to do with all these gun laws is create more criminals because, like, they were just trying to pass legislation where my daily sidearm would become illegal. It's just a pistol with 15 rounds.
Shit, they're passing laws that give less harsh consequences for their actions. Mm-hmm. So how are you going to turn around and try and get rid of guns and then make a less harsh consequence to a criminal? So now they can come not only rob you with gunpoint because you don't have a gun anymore, but they're also going to let them right out of jail as soon as they hit jail.
Mm-hmm. Here's your free bail money that came to you by the taxpayer.
The purge is becoming a real thing, and it started in Illinois, man. Mm-hmm. It's going to spread. Hopefully it doesn't, but I feel it will.
But you know, all these Democrats have one sure way of trying to get people on their side because they know how much people love the green leaf.
And I want you to know that I fully support the legalization of cannabis, both for medical and recreational purposes.
I'm going to say this right now. You know that they're full of shit if they say cannabis. I have been around a lot of weed smokers, and I don't know any of them that say, dude, I just love smoking my cannabis. Freaking politicians.
Well, technically, it's cannabis sativa or cannabis indica.
I don't care.
I'm just saying it's all cannabis.
It's just every single one of them. Like, this is like that.
I do think it's funny that they want to get rid of guns, but they want to legalize pot.
Well, they
So you can grow it, but the criminal's going to come and steal it from you at gunpoint.
Well, see, you got to look at the bigger picture here. See, they want you to be relaxed and, complacent, just, hey, guys. And they don't want you to be able to shoot them when they come and take all your stuff and tell you, hey, why don't you get on this bus and go to this nice little facility where we can protect you.
Yeah, beyond the reset.
Which that is in the description. Go check it out. It's a pretty interesting animated video. Check it out because it could possibly be our future.
Little creep.
People keep on being dumb. But let's get into the episode finally, because like the first 10 minutes of this episode, I got so much to say because they just kept going and going with just nonsense.
Roll it up.
Let's do this.
Democrats and progressives need to understand the level of the battle that we are fighting. To get in with people who believe so deeply that they will accept, deaths as if they're in a war, it is not about little picayune policy crap. Even discussing that with them is just a waste of your breath. You're fighting something so much larger.
The conversation that we had with Ryan, when he started using the word war, it immediately made the hair on the back of my neck stand up. But there was something about the way that he framed that word for us. Maybe I was in a position to be able to hear it differently. And for some reason, that really clicked for me yesterday.
I'm Stephanie Wilson, and you're listening to What the Gerrymander, our podcast about reclaiming and rebuilding our collective political power in MAGA-captured states. We hope this podcast inspires you to help build power.
See, just that right there. MAGA captured states. Acting like these people are under our
They talk about being against war and then they use terms like that. We're being held against our.
Hold up, we just got a chat that I'm gonna shout out from. Hopefully I'm not pronouncing your name wrong, but Bobanak. Hey, you Hoosiers. Still exploring Rumble and saw your channel. I'm subscribing. Thank you, bud.
Welcome aboard.
Thank you. Hope you enjoy it. We're interesting. Let's just say that. We're interesting. I'm sure there'll be at least a few times if you watch us that you'll chuckle a little bit. I mean,
just a little bit.
Just a little bit. We're not the preferred experts that the media wants you to watch, but we've got some interesting opinions, so let us know what you think.
Now, as I was saying, it cracks me up that she talks about how when the word war is used, she has hairs stand up on the back of her neck. Yet she turns around in the very next sentence and talks about how we're MAGA captured states, like we're being held against our will, like we're prisoners of war or something, at a POW camp or some shit, blowing shit way out of. And this is what they do with their words. They blow shit way out of proportion to make it sound far worse than it is.
He said, Bob in Alaska is how it's supposed to be, but no biggie. Plus, I mean, you got to understand, I am kind of retarded, so.
Not kind of, really.
I am offended.
I'm sorry.
How
you identify as a non-retarded person?
I'm about to, if that works. But yeah, everything that they're going to be saying in this is constantly contradicting themselves.
Consistently. I listened to this today as well.
Let's keep on going because they're just in the first 10 minutes. I got so much. Just join the club.
And restore democracy in Red America. MAGA is using the same strategy of voter suppression, gerrymandering, and extreme culture wars across the country. Today, I interviewed Heidi Beidinger about the way her thinking changed after we interviewed Ryan Bussey, the former gun industry executive who has joined the fight for gun safety and responsibility. Heidi and I talked today about what it means to really believe we are in a war with the MAGA Republicans who want to take power and create a white Christian authoritarian state.
Did the hair stand up on her neck again?
Is that what we're like? Is every single MAGA person a white Christian? And Charlie, would you say that you want to make America great again?
Yes.
Are you white?
Yeah.
Are you a Christian?
No.
Ah, dang it. That just threw that out. You don't want a Christian authoritarian state. I should have grabbed a picture. There's a few black guys that I know that like have been going around like dressed in like all the MAGA gear, got the MAGA flags on them, big old MAGA hats, and all
the
that
Hodge
stuff.
brothers too.
Yeah, the Hodge twins are good at that. Oh my gosh! But let's keep going.
To say about
Or
how
else
we
I'm
turn
never
the
gonna
tide in
finish it.
Indiana.
But we're racist.
And we hope you'll take away some
us
concrete
MAGAs are
steps you want to
racist.
take. Please give us a listen and let us know what you think.
Oh, I'll let you know what
So
I think.
Ryan Buss said, we are at war. They think we're at war. They will do everything they can to win this war. They want to roll back the 20th century. What you heard from him and the way he framed it.
Yeah, let's talk about it just for a minute about the Ryan Boosie's conversation, and a little bit of background for our listeners. I am the daughter of two parents who lived in Europe during World War II. And so there is this intergenerational trauma being the daughter of parents who experienced poverty and many other atrocities that I'm going to keep to myself and not share publicly. But I have recently discussed those things with my mother, who is still living. My father has passed away since. So we experience trauma, and we take the words that describe World War II very seriously. So I'm very, very careful about the words war or Nazism or Hitlerism and othering and that sort of thing. I take these things very seriously. The conversation that we had with Ryan yesterday, when he started using the word war, it immediately made the hair on the back of my neck stand up, because I was like, I'm very sensitive to that. I don't want to just throw that word around carelessly.
But she's going to.
But there was something about the way that he...
She says she doesn't want to throw that word around carelessly, but how many times have they said that in the first 10 minutes of this?
As I said, there's going to be a lot of contradictions.
I just want to point that out. Go ahead.
They are not privy to the laws of logic.
Framed?
Either that or they are, and they just don't use
No, logic is out the window for these ladies.
It gone.
That word for us, maybe I was in a position to be able to hear it differently as well. But what he communicated was that the other side, the MAGA Republicans, believe that they are in a war for themselves, for power, for white power. So they're treating this all as a war. And Ryan said that the Democrats, we're so focused on policy, and that these two things, they're at war and we're talking policy. He's like, you will never overcome what it is that they're doing. And for some reason, that really clicked for me yesterday.
Yes, Ricky, there are lots of black MAGAs out there fighting for white power.
Well, I remember, I think it was out in California. His name was Larry Elder. Othering tells me she's an idiot. Very true. But
indeed.
But yeah, Larry Elder, he was running governor, maybe, I don't know. I don't remember. Does not matter, irrelevant. They said he was the black face of white supremacy.
That takes me back to the Dave Chappelle show.
The blind black Klansman. So, anybody listening right now, just to give you guys some context of what we're doing, these two ladies here, Heidi Beidinger and Stephanie Wilson, they're in the progressive Democrat politics here in Indiana, and we're listening to their episode that they had recently that is just ridiculous, and we're just kind of just trash talking it because
you can actually rearrange her last name to say Heidi Dingleberry. I'm sorry, I just thought that was interesting.
Let's keep on going.
Well, from my perspective, I actually expected what he said because my personal history is a little bit different. I'm Jewish, and so the Holocaust and World War II is
affected
very
me personally.
Personal, so I don't throw those words around lightly either. And again, intergenerational trauma between, run-of-the-mill anti-Semitism and Jews will not replace us to death camps. And I am very careful not to use it in vain.
Mm-hmm.
Correct. And over the past, I don't know, I guess since Trump, I look at scholars of fascism, and I'm a historian too. I look at scholars of fascism and they lay out, what does the road to fascism look like? And the road to fascism looks a lot like the United States right now. And they say, what does the road to genocide look like? And we've ticked off a bunch of those squares. So I'm listening to you from a little bit of a different perspective on World War II, but in some ways, the same kinds of feelings. I don't ever make light of it. Quick. And I think
she said something about genocide, and that actually makes me giggle a little bit, because if she was so worried about like genocide, she would be a little more worried about the fact that genitalia is being maimed on children, which is going to prevent people from breeding, which could technically lead to a genocide of the U.S. just throwing it out there.
Another thing that I've talked about before is because we've seen the increase in trans violence. You know, just recently the shooter down in Tennessee, who they haven't released the manifesto, but I mean we're pretty darn sure.
Actually, it hadn't been released, but it's been discussed by a couple of other channels that I listened to. And they said that she was actually planning on hitting a few other places, but actually avoided them because of security.
Mm-hmm. But and then I'm trying to remember the other place. I know I just read about another trans person who was caught before they were able to pull it off, and they had another manifesto, and like they were talking about, you know, because this rhetoric right here, they're saying like we're trying to genocide these people. And I said it before. If I had a thought that, you know, somebody wanted me eliminated, you know, just saying, dangerous rhetoric. But you know, they want to go after Trump because, you know, he said, fight like hell. Hold on. Let's keep on going.
We are in a war, and I've actually been saying I think we're in a Cold War for a long time. But they've got guns. And frankly, that scares the living crap out of me.
Yeah, see right there. They have guns. Like I just quote tweeted her a little earlier today because I saw that was in Colorado. Its sister turned it in.
Its sister. Thank you for that. That made my day.
No, I just saw them talking about this earlier today, how they have the guns, insinuating that leftists are, because I mean the common thing is that, you know, liberals hate guns and like they're scared of guns and they don't want to talk about guns and all that stuff. However, you have like, come on, load up. It's getting there, guys.
Buffering.
Here, let's go over here. The Socialist Rifle Association, kind of like a play on words for the NRA instead of National Rifle Association. It's the Socialist Rifle Association. So, staying on task, what the SRA is a safe space for vulnerable individuals and communities to gain the tools necessary to defend themselves and their communities. We fight for and advocate for the tangible right to do this, and our mission statement keeps us razor focused on those two things. So yeah, you have these guys, socialist, obviously on the left, you know, not your average MAGA hat wearing right winger, all that stuff. And then you got these guys, the John Brown Gun Club. If you don't know,
Mid-Missouri John Brown Club.
Yeah, I think they had to change their name, but I like how they got the fork in there. I don't know what that's about. Probably because most socialists understand that they're going to be hungry, so they're going to need to keep a fork with them. So whenever they can find some food, they can eat. But they got the red and black for, you know, the Antifa thing. But the fact that it's the John Brown Club, they named this after this guy here. Ow, that hurt my ears.
What?
Yeah, asshole.
What?
Yeah, what? So John Brown, he was an abolitionist from the 1800s, And he was very anti-slavery, so much so that he led a raid in October of 1859. He led a
Kansas. Sorry, go ahead.
So he led a raid on a federal armory at Harper's Ferry, Virginia, today West Virginia, intending to start a slave liberation movement that would spread south. He had prepared a provisional constitution for the revised slave-free United States that he hoped to bring about. He seized the armory, but 7 people were killed and 10 or more were injured. Brown intended to arm slaves with weapons from the armory, but only a few slaves joined his revolt. Those Brown's men who had not fled were killed or captured by local militia and U.S. Marines. The latter led by Robert E. Lee. Brown was tried for treason against the Commonwealth of Virginia, the murder of 5 men, and inciting a slave insurrection. He was found guilty of all charges and was hanged on December 2nd, 1859. The first person executed for treason in the history of the United States. So yeah, that's who they named their little gun club after, but an insurrectionist. So I mean, I find it amusing that like they try to say the right is the only one with the guns because these guys are like serious leftists. In that, like the more you read about that John Brown guy, he was kind of crazy.
Yeah, I was reading a little bit about it.
Yeah,
I mean, I think it was good what he was trying to do by freeing the slaves and shit and arming them so they can get out, but
maybe. But let's keep on going. Oh, damn it, where is it? Okay, here we go. Back to these wonderful people. We're only 5 minutes in on this.
Right. And so the comment that you made just a moment ago about using this word genocide, I too would never use that word loosely, ever. We reserve that for the highest criminal behavior, right? When genocide is occurring. And here in this country, we also believe that that could never happen here. But let me tell you, when the MAGA Republicans are hiring a part-time health officer, that means that he doesn't have the bandwidth or the time to focus on all of these other things. I mean, real public health is really trying to help all people in your community have access to care and prevent illness, promote health. That's what we're supposed to be doing. Then we continue to see that Black and brown people will suffer from these higher
public, i.e. state-funded
death rates. That's not necessary.
And there's clearly a pattern here. There's clearly I'm telling you who I am, you should believe me, that we don't care about the health of St. Joseph County. So you're going from a full-time person and real concern about the health of St. Joseph County when you were president to wiping out the health department almost entirely.
That's right.
So I was thinking about how in Indiana, MAGA, and in Missouri and Texas and Florida and Kentucky and Tennessee, they are defunding education.
Defunding education.
And for a long time, we thought, okay, well, their goal is to break public education. Well, I don't think that's what it is. I think that's a tool. I think their goal is to amass power and wealth. And breaking public education means you have a less educated citizenry. You've got people who don't think as critically. You've got people who don't read the books that have been banned.
Mm-hmm.
And
you can
can
obviously tell that a lot of their ideas come out of the public education system.
We should call this hate speech against MAGAs.
About race, because that's somehow off limits. And all of a sudden, you have created a citizenry ripe for authoritarianism.
That's right. And now layer it on public health. So you dismantle public health, your citizenry becomes more unhealthy. They don't have access to the services that they need to have healthy children. And suddenly now, it dovetails beautifully with destroying public education. We're uneducated and we're unhealthy. That means there's going to be less of us.
You know, we probably wouldn't attack public education so much if you weren't trying to teach kids about how gay men have sex with each other.
Or just sexualizing them, period.
You know, probably would like help if you're like so invested in this like public schooling. I am not. I would say, hey, homeschool your kids. A lot easier.
If my kids were in school right now, I would pull them out. Oh yeah, I would pull them out. I would do everything in my power to either homeschool them or find some kind of like place that's going to teach them knowledge instead of trying to sexualize them or gender class them or anything else, you know?
Are you sure you're a boy? Don't you think that you might be a girl? I'm 3 years old.
I'd go to prison.
Well, let's
if my kids were that young, and if my kids were that young and I found out some teacher was saying that shit, I'd show up at school and beat the hell out of that teacher.
No doubt. Gonna miss some teeth. Gonna be missing some teeth.
It's my kid. You know, you can teach them knowledge and education, but you don't sexualize children. You just don't.
Well, I mean, if you really get into the public education system, I mean, I don't think it was ever really created for that purpose. I think it was indoctrination, and they just wanted to create a bunch of mindless drones, which, as we can see, it
is working. It's effective. It's a good plan.
Really good plan. Really good plan. They sure pulled that one right over our eyes, and we fell for it hook, line, and sinker. But let's keep on going.
Where we come back to the word genocide.
And then we pass this abortion ban, which means that people are forced to give birth.
So you dismantle public health. Your citizenry becomes more unhealthy. They don't have access to the services that they need to have healthy children. And suddenly now, it dovetails beautifully with destroying public education. We're uneducated and we're unhealthy. That means there's going to be less of us. We can't reproduce. And that's where we come back to the word genocide.
And then we pass this abortion ban, which means that people are forced to give birth, and the people who are in a wanted pregnancy can't get appropriate health care. And transgender individuals are no longer able, starting with kids, but you can bet it's going to adults, are no longer able.
Yes, it should go to adults. Nobody should be transitioning their gender. But no, I thought it was absolutely hilarious that they were like, we're not going to be able to like have kids and like tying it into genocide. And then they were like, but they passed the abortion ban and, you know, they're not allowing us to sterilize children. You guys, come on, contradiction. What?
Do we have to listen to this whole thing?
Absolutely not. Just a
I'm
few more minutes
for these ladies right now.
We're a little over an hour, so we're going to be wrapping it up soon. So
the stupidity is phenomenal.
Oh yeah, they.
I feel like these are two housewives that were sitting at home and had nothing better to do, so they started running their mouth about shit they don't understand. That's personal opinion. I don't think it's wrong of anybody to throw their opinions out there, but they should at least be educated and not contradict themselves every way they go.
And we should probably repeal the 19th.
To get gender affirming care, which puts them at much higher risk for suicide, permitless carry in this state. So
if you don't let the doctor sterilize them, they're going to kill themselves.
If you don't let the doctor sterilize them, we're not going to be able to breed. That's basically what I'm hearing. We want to breed, but it's genocide. But let's sterilize the kids and ban abortion. They're like complaining about oh my God. I don't even want to.
So doubling down on guns and AR-15 to own the libs, right? Mm-hmm. Because they are in a war for white, Christian, male power.
It's like what Ryan Boosie said.
Okay, so I'm white, but I'm not Christian, and I have no power. So,
and Bob and AK said he is also white, and he is also MAGA, and he is not a Christian. Me, I'm white. So, I am a Christian, but you know, this whole like white power with Christianity, it just shows their absolute ignorance of Christianity, and it completely contradicts it. Like,
so out of the three people in this conversation, only one of us fits their description. That is funny. I think.
I mean, most Trump supporters that I know would say that they are at least agnostic, atheist, something around those realms. Like, I mean, there's like, you do hear like a lot of people like saying like, yeah, Christian and all that stuff. But I mean, this whole thing where they're like Christian authoritarian state and all this stuff, white Christian, because we don't care about our black Christians or our brown Christians. We're just creating the society for the white Christians. But it's just like, well, yeah, you know what, if you guys want to go listen to I can't listen to it anymore because it's just it's mind numbing. It's mind numbing.
It is. It's giving me a headache. I'll be honest. It's just I have to go take a nap now because I have a headache.
Gosh, my brain just literally pooped.
I agree.
No offense, but it sounds like some fucking commie gobbledygook.
But
thank you, Norm, once again.
Oh yeah, R.I.P. But yeah, I get what the gerrymander. If you want to go check them out, I mean, they like I said, they're working with this organization that is tied in with Act Blue called Every State Blue, where they want to flip this entire country. They want the entire country to be like blue instead of a little mixture of like red and blue, like a democracy that they claim to love, and then they have the audacity to call us the fascist authoritarians.
Sounds like they're the ones doing the gerrymandering. That's all I'm saying.
It sounds a bit like this.
No offense, but it sounds like some fucking commie gobbledygook.
Take it again. Yes, it was enough for me as well. But, I'm kind of a glutton for pain, and I'm probably going to go back and check out what they're saying next week because...
No, it's important to know.
Like, and that's why we're going to start doing this segment.
About, I guess.
Because these two aren't the only ones here in Indiana that are talking like this. We were just talking about Dana Black.
Dana Black, yeah.
Yeah, we were talking about her, and there are some more, and this is going to be a new recurring segment on Wednesdays at 6:00 that we are going to be covering what specifically is going down in Indiana with these progressives. And then, as usual, on Saturday, we'll do our whatever topic we want to talk about. I mean, we cover a lot of things from globalism to all sorts of fun stuff. But
honestly, I think we should cover this either the Elon Musk thing, where he's kind of flipped script a little bit, and he's gone against what they were planning. Mm-hmm. How he started uncovering the things that they were doing on Twitter, how he's saying AI is moving too fast and we need to think about it. There's lots of topics he's been talking about.
That's exactly what the guy who's going to create Skynet, which has us all die.
Same Terminator, Ricky. The same Terminator.
But that's exactly what that guy would want you to think, is that he is totally against the AI system and doesn't want to do it.
Not only that, but we should probably update on what's going on over there in Russia too, how they just attacked NATO possibly. And I want to actually listen to that tonight and find out a little more about it, but I don't know. We'll pick a topic and everybody will find out Friday night.
Yeah, I'll schedule the. Yeah, that's the one thing that I don't like here. Okay, he has another comment. What the hell's happened to the Midwest? I'm originally from Ohio, and it wasn't like this that I remember. Yeah,
dude, I don't know. I wish I knew. We've had this conversation a couple of times. If you'd have asked me even just 15 years ago if we'd be talking about the things we're talking about now, I'd have been like, no, you're crazy. There's no way.
Get out of here. You're watching way too many movies. But I mean, I honestly think that's been like a part of it, is like they fueled us with like all this like entertainment and stuff like that. And like we've stayed distracted on all these various things that they put in front of us, and we're like, ooh, shiny toy. But I think that is a big part of it. We've just been distracted, and like people are
it's like I said, dude, there were Most of the population is more worried about being into their phones and watching stupid videos or stupid shit like Johnny Depp and his woman when they went through all that bullshit. You know what I mean? Like while we're watching all this dumb shit.
That's important news.
So what? While we're watching all this stupid shit over here, our government's over here pulling some shady shit. And we have no clue. And then when it comes out and comes to fruition for them, we're like, well, how'd this happen? Well, no, because you were focused on Johnny Depp for 6 fucking years while he was talking about his woman shitting on his bed. If that was me or you that was going through that situation, it would have been handled within less than a year. And it would have been done and over with.
No doubt. But yeah, we'll find something. Yeah,
it'll be interesting.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, I'm sure we try to keep it interesting and funny. A little funny.
Thank you, Bob, for subscribing to the channel. Be sure to smash that like button and catch us next time. I'm going to go ahead and run this ad real quick. That way possible new viewers know where to find us and all that good stuff. So a couple of Hoosiers podcasts. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, CastBox, pretty much anywhere that you get your podcasts. We do a live stream show on Rumble, and then we upload to Odysee, YouTube, and BitChute. And pretty much anywhere else that we can, But if you want to get everything all in one place, go to cohpodcast.substack.com. I write blogs for all the episodes, plus some other interesting things that I like to write about. So go subscribe there because it is completely free and interesting. I like it. Also,
I see that thumbs up, it cracks me up, dude.
But also I want to let people know if you want to be a part of the Telegram, or I just started a Discord, we might start doing, if we start getting like more viewers and all that stuff, we might have people start calling in and like talking with us and all that stuff, and we'll do that through Discord. So if you want to be a part of that, go ahead and click the link in the description section for Discord and get in on that. Should be fun.
Don't forget about the Telegram too.
Yeah, I did say the Telegram. Yeah. Okay. That's also down in the description. You can get in on there. Just good ways to keep up with what's going on with the podcast, when we're going to be doing episodes, what we're going to be talking about. Plus,
and we do actually share and chat on there as well.
Exactly. Build a community. That way, like, we have like-minded individuals or people who disagree with us, because I like arguing with people.
MAGA community.
Yeah, the MAGAs. The white Christian MAGA authoritarians. Retards. But we're gonna go ahead and get off of here. But always remember this. If you forget anything else that we said, just remember this. Piss off, YouTube. You guys have a great day. Enjoy the rest of your week. We'll see you on Saturday. Bye.
Have a good night, guys.